Hello, we are live. Welcome to Digital Communication Skills channel. My name is Nina Trankova. Today's topic is Google Plus shutting down. It's been part of our communication online for 7 years, and we have gathered together with friends to express how we feel, how I am moving around, how are we going to keep up with our relationships. So we are the ghosts. And I'm giving the word to Azlin. She's my longtime Google Plus friend, and she will moderate our conversation today. Welcome, Azlin. It's up to you now.
Hi, Nina. Hi, everyone. I'm Azlin Bloor. Those of you who have been using Google Plus for a while will probably recognize me, or not, as the case may be, from my food posts and from my weekly food shows that we were running for a couple of years or so. So this is it. It was good. It was more than good while it lasted. Many people I know on Google Plus will hear from the three ladies here and more hopefully later, have been on G Plus from the word go. I joined sometime in late 2012, but I got really active in it sometime in early spring of 2013. And there was no stopping me once I started. It was, I guess, the best social media platform I'd ever come across. It was home. It was where I've made so many good friends that I'm still in touch with on the phone, via email, on other platforms, and so on and so forth. Now, I have yet to cry about this. I don't think I will. I am, my husband tells me, a very practical person. Monica, you remember this line of mine you quoted some time ago? The only constant in life is change. And that's why I was one of the few Google Plus Create members who didn't complain very much about all the changes that took place on Google Plus. You know, I mean, it comes, it goes, rules come, rules go, life moves on. And I was fairly happy for most of the time with life on G Plus. But enough about me. Let's go and hear what the ladies have got to say. I shall start with Peggy, actually, a top contributor or TC on Google Plus. Peggy, tell us about your experience.
Hi, everyone. Actually, now we are product experts and not top contributors anymore. But I joined Google Plus in September 2011. So not the very, very first group, but kind of when they first opened to the public. And I was already a top contributor for several Google products at that time. Actually, was it several? I can't even remember now. But it was a good experience joining Google Plus because there were a bunch of people I was already acquainted with who also joined at about the same time. And it really felt like home starting out even. And one of the things that was great about Google Plus is that the communities that really embraced Google Plus were the communities that I was part of. So, you know, the sort of like people who are into sort of nerdy things and science and technology, that's me. And that was like so many people. And of course, there were so many other people too, you know, about food, about photography, so many great interests. So, yeah, it's been such a big part of my life for the past few years. It's really just hitting home now that it's not there anymore. It's really going to be weird to not check my Google Plus notifications, not check my communities. Yeah, I haven't cried about it either, but it's still sinking in.
Sounds like you might be doing it live for all of us.
Yeah. And so, if those of you who know me, from my Peggy Kate page, I mostly posted things about tips, tutorials, updates to Google products, things like that. And I'm continuing to do that on my personal blog. I have my YouTube channel where I do tips and tutorials, and I'll keep doing that because there's lots of other products that I think creators like to use, about YouTube, about Blogger, about Hangouts on Air, although that will eventually go away also. So I hope we can all keep in touch.
So if there is one thing that stands, I think it's going to be difficult, but if you could pick just one thing that stands out about Google Plus that you will always remember, what would it be?
Oh, that's so hard. That is so hard. Some of my best memories, though, are getting together with people I knew from Google Plus in person. And so meeting the other product experts for Google Plus was really one of my top experiences. And also when Google Plus turned 5, there was a local photo walk, which was really pretty amazing. Just being able to meet people in person that I've been interacting with online. And I'll say that I am wearing the t-shirt I got at that event.
Great. Peggy.
I don't get a lot of opportunities, to wear it. So this was it. But I think that was really, because Google Plus was focused on shared interests, I think that really translated pretty nicely into Hangouts in real life meetups.
Yes, that whole HIRL, Hangout in Real Life, it became the thing to achieve, didn't it, for a while?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Whoops, my headphones. So don't say anything, because if you do, I won't hear you. So some of us had lots of hangouts in real life with people we only met, and yet some of us have never met. Like Nina and I, we've never met, and yet we consider ourselves good friends. Nina even sent a gift along with a friend of hers who has a daughter who studies at a uni 10 minutes away from me. Talk about small world,
Yeah.
It is. And I think, I don't know if everyone remembers that Hangouts on Air, Hangouts video calling were so deeply integrated with Google Plus in the early days that was really encouraged to kind of network and meet people from all around the world who are also on Google Plus in such an easy way, to chat with each other, either as a live broadcast or privately in a Hangout party.
That's right, because those early Hangouts on Air allowed us to have, a real connection that when you actually got around to meeting the person in real life, it's as if you've known each other for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's fantastic. Now we'll come back to you, Peggy. I'm just going to let Monica before she sort of dozes off or something. No, I'm joking. That's one of my jokes that don't actually work always. Monica, come on, tell us
Hello,
about
everybody.
your Google Plus experience.
Yeah, well, my first attempt for Google Plus was the alternative to Facebook, because my children have been actively on Facebook, and I didn't want to disturb them. So I was eager looking for Google Plus to open up. And on the very first public day, it was the 1st of November 2011. It was a 1/11/11. I started Google Plus and never stopped it anymore until right now, 1 hour ago. Okay, the Hangouts have been a really huge experience, because especially in Germany, the culture in Germany is more like hiding your personality, hiding your data, being afraid of anybody killing your data or taking over it. So being on Google Plus, always with your live profile, I mean with your real name and your real profile, that was a huge experience. huge new experience on the data world, social media world, and then going into Hangouts and meeting people around the world, just like nothing, you know. That was so awesome, finding nice people, kind people, supportive people, funny people. And when I think about Daria Musk, I think we all know her. When she started singing on Google Plus Hangouts, it was such a great innovation. Yeah, that's what I love, really love. There might be some more moments coming up, but that was the early stages was really a life-changing experience.
I think it was. I think a lot of people, those who have been there from the early days, the first, say, 3 years or so, when Hangouts were the thing. Hangouts is, as Peggy said, I don't know how long more it's going to go on, be around for. Hangouts was one of the best products, I think, ever. The very fact that you can have 10 people in the same live event show. Of course, you know, that's transferred over to YouTube live stream now. So,
Sure.
which is one of the reasons I didn't really complain too much about Hangouts not, not being around anymore, because it just moved on to another place. So, but if what I found interesting was what Peggy said just now. When she joined Google Plus, it was quite nice to join with people she'd already met, because you were already a contributor, weren't you, Peggy, by then? So she joined G+ and she met people she'd already known, but I didn't. I didn't know anyone on G+. What about you, Monica?
Yeah, no, I didn't know anybody. I remember my first public post was, I think, in a quarter of year later after I started, so around April in 2012 or so. I remember my very first contact was a lady living here in Germany. She was a gold artist, and she was here until the end. And what did you ask about the public post?
So whether you knew anyone when you first joined G+, and you
nobody,
said no.
no one. Oh yeah, let me tell you, my daughter recommended some Google people to me, and she said Stefan Keuchel from Google Hamburg would post all day, so he was one of the first I connected with. That was a funny thing. So from there it spread out.
Okay. Well, what about you, Nina? What about you? What's your G+ experience? What has it been like? Because you've been a top contributor, product expert. Is that what it's called now? Product expert for a year. Yeah, for a year or two now. So what's your experience like? What's your take home? What's your favorite part? What was your favorite part about Google+?
Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere for me. Like I call it G+ Infinity. That's how one of the program managers from Google called it. It's a hashtag because to me, G+ is an university for the technology revolution that is going on in every occupation. So I don't think it has anything to do with social media, honestly. Even I didn't know anyone when I joined, and that's the point. To me, the most important is the neutrality a person receives here for what he's interested, how he communicates, and then the skill matter and his behavior and presence matter. To differentiate it with Facebook, when there's a bias, people know who you are, what's your family, what's your history, where you live, and they always cannot be neutral when they communicate online. Even if they are new, they start to get the signals from the social surrounding of the profile.
Sure. Can I just interrupt you? A little technicality here. Could you just change the image. Nina, since it's on your YouTube channel, could you just change it back to you? Because there we are. Now we get to see your pretty face as you talk.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I forgot. I always forget about myself. That's one thing I learned, that here you should start from I. Before that, I was last in the row. Now I start everything with myself. And people, I don't know if they're happy or not, but to me it matters. And I'm very happy to be today with you. It's been a very emotional day on Google+. People were sharing their anything, music, poetry. It's been like in even stronger than in life, because the senses you get when you're online is like children's. You don't get everything from the surrounding, and you have to, your imagination is like very busy because you know the person, you know the story around the people whom we met. So my long story short, I was 20 years in production. I was export manager in an industrial company and shareholder when I first joined. So on Google Plus, I changed my occupation. That's a pretty amazing thing to do, I think. And also, I'm the first Google product expert from my country. I'm very proud of this. Nina Trankova from Bulgaria. I think Bulgarian is going to be added soon. I have my fellow CEO guys who are the tech force in Webmasters. So we are going to bring the Bulgarian language too soon. And it's so much to tell about 7 years. Most of all, in 2015, I was speaking at a conference for Google My Business. Then I attended 2 global summits to meet Peggy last year in Google, and before that in Dublin. I couldn't have done this even if I was the millionaire of any company in my country, because they don't have time to go to summits or forums. They're just busy making money. So it's something that I hope future young generations can balance, being in educational surroundings, because the internet is peer-to-peer, and that's what we have the most important on Google+. We don't have anything in between us. We know the evidence is in our direct communication. And I hope in future this can become part of personal, professional lifestyle, to have this space where you can grow, educate yourself. I learned so much. I learned the photography from your courses, Azlin, because I took the class, I took the photos, and my photos improved immensely. I read books about it, but practice is different, because you get the community to support you and to give you their objective feedback and say, this and this is good, but you can do this better, or you use these tools, or change your equipment, buy a new phone, or a lot of things. And the best moment was the moderation we had on Google Collections community. That was an amazing experience. And also the top contributor program. So every minute of my G+ life is like 10 years of my life. It's so much accelerated, and so happy that I don't have words to express. I think I should tell the story and record it and have someone to publish it.
You should. I think that we've all got stories to tell about Google+. And one of the things that we'll all agree on, is that Google+ is the only platform that mimics real life. The connection you make with people is very, very real. Something you don't find on other platforms, right? I mean, you post something on, I don't know if I'm supposed to, I should mention the other platforms, but we all know who they are. You post something on the other platform and people just like, put a smiley face and or whatever, you know, but on Google Plus, people actually talked. People actually spoke to each other, which is how we made real proper connections. We've made friends from all around the world. I think that is the one singular beauty of Google Plus that we will all agree on.
Yeah.
Peggy, are there? Go on.
I think that, well, first of all, you talk about meeting people all around the world. Just look at us, right? We're all around the world right now. Yeah. And this is a connection that we never have had.
We certainly are. So let's just clear that. I'm in the UK. Peggy?
California.
Nina?
Sofia, Europe.
Bulgaria. And Monica?
Bavaria, Germany, Europe.
Cool, cool. Right, back to you, Peggy.
I think that, I guess one of my disappointments with Google Plus is that it didn't really embrace the whole idea that people were connecting with interests, shared interests and things. And it spent a lot of time trying to be a bigger network without really appreciating the strengths that it had in terms of connecting people. And I think, so that's why I was actually kind of happy when they announced in 2017 that Google Plus was no longer going to be this social layer over everything, because I think that was actually kind of confusing, and definitely from a product expert point of view, that caused a lot of confusion, and you know, things broke, and so I thought that shift made a lot of sense to say, look, this is our strength, you know, the sharing shared interests and communities, but it just didn't take off, and that was and maybe it was because it was too late by that point. I don't know.
Yeah, but perhaps
I think they didn't just appreciate the value. They didn't see the value what lies in those things. Yeah. They were looking for the social layer value, and then they decided to stop this, and that's it. They didn't see what the value was really.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I was going to say, one of my frustrations that I've mentioned to other people is that I think they could have provided a lot more improvements and tools for people who were using it as an interest-based network early on, and that might have encouraged more people to be active on Google+. I think they did introduce a lot of those sort of later on, you know, like 2017 or so. Yeah. But by then, I think a lot of people had already set up separate communities on other platforms, and it was kind of just too late to get people to switch. And you just think, what if? I guess it's not worth wondering what if, but
I have another assumption that Google Plus isn't like real life. I mean, people come, and on the help community, we got a lot of people who want things to work like they work in real life, to showcase only them. This is not, the internet is a community structure. Everyone contributes for his best part and role. It's not for me the biggest mistake is to think about online activity and presence like your information studio on PR campaign or advertising. It's not that. It's here. It's a community space. And if we had known that no, online life is not like real life equal, that you should contribute, like if you go to some public community or to a local community to get to work, to do something, it would have been different. because we get a lot of people, and part of why Google Plus was shut down is because people want to use it for their political interests, mainly, or for their interest, and to turn everyone, or to sell something to everyone, like in advertising campaign. No, it's not. So I had a lecture with a futurist here in Sofia who said we don't need virtual reality that is equally what we have in our lives. We need a more beautiful thing. What we are doing here is a beautiful conversation, because we are not paid to do that. We are not advertising anything. But this has to be a virtual reality that is bringing joy to us, to our conversations. And Azlin, please tell us more about your best moment, or what your biggest frustration, or just
I shall do that in a minute. I was just thinking that perhaps we ought to say hi to people who are watching. Peggy, you're watching the comments, aren't you? Would you like to say hi to a few of the folks out there?
You're muted. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Sorry, I was a little distracted by the live chat. Everyone who's watching, please, join in and add your memories or your discussion. I just mentioned in the live chat what this is feeling like to me is it's like graduation from school, except they're tearing down the school, so you can never go back, and everyone is just kind of going their own ways and scattering around. Now I'm feeling it's more real.
Right. So have you got any alcohol next to you? Because put it away, because you're going to start crying if you start drinking.
Okay.
Right. I'm just very quickly going to say hi to some of the folks out there. I'm sorry. Is that Weeble Gray? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. Digital Mobile Posts, Bob, Andrew, Richard, who else is there? Michael Daniels, Michael Thomas, Chef Michael Thomas, if I remember. Hi, Michael, long time no see. So thanks, guys, for watching. If any of you would like to pop in to join us live, by all means, just let us know and we'll share the link with you. And if you want to share your memories with us, just leave them in the chat if you don't want to come in live, and Peggy will share them online with us. So now, my favorite moment, I don't know if I have a favorite. There I go with my headphones again. So,
yeah, take some alcohol.
What can I say about things going wrong when you're live? Something always happens. So anyway, as I was saying, now I joined late 2012, but it was sometime in spring 2013 that when I looked around, I came across the Foodies Plus community. And when I joined the Foodies Plus community, it was as if the penny dropped, like I'd come home. Folks there, other foodies like me, were chatting, were talking, were arguing, most of the time in a polite way, sometimes not necessarily, because emotions always get the better of you. But it was as if I found like-minded people, and that to me, the communities were one of the strengths of Google Plus. And so Foodies Plus was started by Nomad Dimitris in 2012, and I think sometime. About a year later, I took over and I basically ran the show along with lots of other moderators, half a dozen moderators over the years. They came and they went, like Lisa, Joy, Rita, the earlier ones, Sally, Miming, Maria, Shana. So many moderators did the job with us and for us. And I think communities was one of my favorite parts about Google Plus, because they allowed us, gave us a home, and we were able to connect, share, and as I said, argue, question, and it was fun, because I always believe that you've got to keep it real. As a foodie, as a food blogger, I post recipes and what have you not. But, you know, I get extremely tired with people who say that, oh, wow, beautiful, makes my mouth water. I'm just like, what? Who made that phrase up? Make my mouth water. I just like hate that. That's so gross. You know, those lines like yum, great, lovely. I hate those. I much prefer people to question, you know, to give me something real. And that's something you get on Google Plus, or got on Google Plus. Not, you don't really get it on the other platforms. And as I said just now, you get a thumbs up or you get a heart from, you know, which other platforms. And I miss that. I miss the community. We've moved, Foodies Plus has moved from Google Plus over to Facebook. And it's hard going because the mentality is different. The mentality is what I call a hit and run mentality. Drop your link and off you go. You know, whereas we didn't accept that in Foodies Plus. In fact, we asked for full recipe posts. And while we don't do that on Facebook, we still insist that people give us a description of their work, not just link and go. And we insist that members stop and chat and leave a comment on a couple of other posts by other members. This is because it is very, very important to create community. I think social media, this is going to be a short rant, okay? Social media is full of people who just love themselves, you know, who haven't got the time to give. And that was something that Google Plus did very, very well. We gave as much as we took. And that's what I'm going to miss.
Yeah, me too.
I think
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Nina.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm keeping this library on G Suite. I cannot just abandon the Plus, so I made my G Suite account, and today most of the people invited also on the chat. Thank you everyone for coming. I cannot respond. I will respond later on. To me, it's a library. It's a way to learn, be it in the community or in a collection, because I love to make an order, to make the recaps, to make the bullets, to make a commentary. So I'm keeping the Google Plus community like my small library, and I'll be very glad if people join. Today I did an article, and I say that that's my what I'm persuaded and I believe in. We've excelled the working on Google search. Because of the way we navigated the Plus, we are more than excellent how the products of Google are working together with people and communities and content. So now we are the excellent operators online on Google search. And I noticed that Google collections are on my Android. I can collect things there, and there are lists that people can follow on Google Maps and favorite pages. So everything we did, we have discovered on Google search. Everything is not lost. We are just grown up, and our accountability and responsibility is grown up, and we are on search. So we are more powerful. And read my article and watch Peggy's tutorials if you have any questions about takeout and how to handle the files, how to repurpose. Everything is on my article. You know, I want everything to be like listed. So take advantage of the things I wrote today, and subscribe to Peggy's channel for the tutorials and to my channel.
Excellent. Peggy, you were about to say something just now.
I've actually forgotten what I was going to say exactly.
Of course.
but I will be very interested to hear from Nina and anyone else who has a G Suite account. what Google Plus is like sort of on the other side, now that all of the consumer accounts are shut down and it's just sort of just for G Suite users, whether you can still build community that way, at least internally and with other products. And so Nina, I hope you share some of that experience somewhere other than Google Plus so that we can see it.
As soon as it's stable, because today there was so many glitches and the platform was going down, then coming back, and it was so emotional. So in my Google Plus community on board, I have a group that is a public group, and I have added the group to my G Suite. And G Suite didn't ask me to pay licenses about these people. I'm expecting that we can still communicate because you are my guests on this account. And I should be free to invite my partners and collaborators. I hope very much to be a small communication island, because actually the most followers I got was 50,000 for my interviews. It looks like this is what I love doing. And I have continued interviewing people and friends and internet tech people. But I was never actually about followers. That wasn't interested. That wasn't my interest to get a lot of followers. Of course, I was very lucky if people found my content interesting. But this group is not about growing in numbers, but being efficient and useful to everyone in person.
So it would be good, perhaps, in 2-3 months or even 6 months, I don't know how long it's going to take to stabilize and stuff. If you, as Peggy said, did a post somewhere, tagged those of us who are watching and are here joining you, and tell us what G Suite is like. And perhaps you could even do a show in a few months' time as a, and we can discuss it, because you've got people in there with you on your community and stuff. So you could have a discussion about it. Monica.
Yes, here. Still here.
Good to know. So we are going to start wrapping it up now.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go with each one of you and tell us what you're going to miss most about Google Plus and where you're going to be.
Yeah, I start with the last point. I'm on G Suite as well and member in Nina's group, as she mentioned it. And that's what I will miss about G Plus the most, is the good habits, the good attitudes we are showing to each other. That means we are giving support, we are inspiring, we are providing our findings, what we discovered new on our way to go to develop, and in this way giving inspiration to other members. So that's what I first found on Google Plus, the really great universe to find supporting people. And that's what we are holding up in this group. And I hope to find this yes, somewhere else. Maybe there were some other networks like Mivi or Pluspora or whatever. You know those networks. They are popping up on each corner. I'm not sure where I would settle down to be the first network like it was G+. I don't think we cannot find a second one, but I will go where this way of supporting and inspiration would be lively. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
You are. I know you're on Instagram and on Facebook. Because
yes.
we're there, aren't we? Yes.
Instagram, Facebook. What else? Pinterest. Somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to move on to Peggy. And Peggy, tell us. Same thing, what you're going to miss most, and tell us where you are these days.
one of the things, so as a just regular consumer user, it's really hard for me.
Nothing regular about you, Peggy. You're special. Nothing regular about you. Remember, you were a top contributor.
I think that I personally am looking for a place to find the similar kind of community that I've had on Google+. And I'm on Twitter, which really doesn't build community at all. Let's talk about just, posting things out, and you can kind of interact with people, but it's not really a conversation. And I am on MeWe, which I haven't really used yet. I'm on Diaspora, on the Pluspora. I made a profile again. I haven't really used it yet. And so, and I complicate my life because, those are me joining as Peggy K. But I have a personal Facebook profile. I have a personal Instagram that I use mostly just for interacting with people I actually know, rather than, because I know the people, my family on Facebook, they're not going to care about tutorials or whatever. So for me, it's like I have a split personality. There's my personal thing, and then there's my Peggy K things, and there's just too many places now. Everyone is scattered everywhere. So I'm feeling like maybe just less social media. I think I actually kind of see the appeal for Google Plus G Suite as an internal communication tool. I'm feeling like I'm spending a lot more time in more, not necessarily completely private, but less public places, talking with people, communicating people, linking with people. So we'll see how that goes. Well, I'm having a hard time imagining what it's going to be like, say, 6 months from now, because I'm still kind of mentally disconnecting from Google+.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I don't think, despite claims to the contrary, that we're going to find another place like Google+. All these new ones that have been popping up, the ones you've mentioned. I'm on MeWe as well, but I think I've made 3 posts on there, honestly, because there are a handful of people that they like to be in touch with who are nowhere else. So that's probably the main reason I'm there. And I'm going to let Nina finish off because we are on her channel. So what am I going to miss most from Google Plus on Google Plus is the sense of community. And
I was going to say, I think that also the society has changed since Google Plus launched. And I think maybe we're sort of past the heyday of social media because it's coming under more and more criticisms, more and more regulations. And so it's hard to imagine any other platform emerging that would be so encompassing of so many people now. I mean, there's there are the established social media networks. I mean, there's Facebook, sort of everyone's on Facebook. YouTube is really hard to compete with in terms of, video sharing. Twitter has a lot of popular people. It's this Instagram, but it's harder to imagine a new upstart platform building the same kind of audience, because I think people are more fragmented now. I think people are more with groups, with their interest groups, with their cohorts, rather than trying to broadcast to everybody and connect with everybody. So we'll see.
I agree.
What happens. And I think it's interesting.
I agree. I think with these new upstarts, as you call them, not my word, I don't think I have the energy nor the inclination to want to start all over again, because that's what it will be. I think I don't think I've said anything negative, so sorry, here I am going to go negative for a while. I'm annoyed, as are so many of my other blogger friends, whether food or otherwise, that we have spent these last 5, 6, 7 years putting all our eggs in the G+ basket. And so verified profile, over 50,000 followers, all gone. Well, actually, touch wood, hopefully my verified profile is still on YouTube, Google, don't touch that verified profile. 50,000 followers gone, just like that. And now I've got to build my social media platform purely for my blog, because my blog needs it. My blog needs the followers. I've got to start on Twitter. I've been on these platforms before, but Google Plus was home. So that was frustrating because a lot of us feel like, we were successful on Google Plus, and the last laugh, they got the last laugh, not us. The joke is on us, and that's why I'm really annoyed, purely for my blog, That's it. So you'll find me everywhere else, I think, mostly on all the major players, and I am there as me on all these various platforms. But Facebook is more for family and friends. So really, I don't really accept friend requests and stuff from people I don't know. But everywhere else, Instagram, Twitter and stuff, you'll find me there. Send me a request and I'll follow you back. But make sure you tell me who you are. So there you go. Google Plus. It was a whole lot of fun while it lasted, as far as I'm concerned. And it will always have a special place in my heart. All the friends we made, all the connections we made, and the success stories we've had. So, Nina, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Okay, let me present. Am I on screen? Okay, I want to wrap up with what Sir Tim Berners-Lee said about we celebrated this year 30 years from the World Wide Web, and we actually on the web of people. Now when we get the files of our content back, when you click on them, they are codes. So we are the pioneers who went through the whole life cycle of creating the content and taking it back to us. Take out is something that we contributed, it's ours, and we should have the lessons learned from this. The code we've been writing with our words and our natural language is changed tremendously, and we can do much better than using Google Assistant in future. So one place you find me is the Google Forums, because I want to meet Peggy again in person, face to face. And I will be answering users on the Google Forums. And the other place I will be doing row speaking. So you're welcome. Monica is coming to visit me, Azlin and Peggy. If we can not be together online, we can be together offline. So another thing I'm planning and intending to do is to do this row speaking in June. That is some event that is not an event yet, because it's just in my thoughts. But since everyone is doing events and releasing a selfie or small nothing, we better, because we are grown on online, we can pull things back into the offline world, and I'll be happy to have more and more opportunities. So invent, create startups, things, initiatives, so we can be together in synchronicity, offline and online. So to finish with Sir Tim Berners-Lee, what he said is that we have on the web the scientific exploration part, that is the URL he invented to exchange the information. We have the democracy to be responsible for regulations and privacy and security and data. but we haven't yet invented how to take decisions. So it's up to the young people to emerging the young people who are coding, the developers, to stand for the people like us on the internet, because we are not spammers. We never had anything suspended. We are creators, and we don't have place because the decision that was taken for the Google Plus ignored the consumers. We didn't have a say about it, and no one could stand for us. And we are a minority. Only, I don't know, maybe from 100 people, only one is creating something on the internet. The rest are consumers. So let's find a way to make the internet better and to be together again. Find a way to make decisions on the internet and be together again. Thank you for everyone who's watching. I love Google Plus forever and the people I met there. And thank you to all who followed me and who supported me. To John's kids especially. Many people left today because they will never be online again because of everything that is going on with social media, which is really, really sad. It's less quality content. Thank you, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, Monica, Peggy, and Azlin. And we shall meet again. I'm usually doing one broadcast monthly, or it depends if I have something interesting to say, someone willing to reach out to people. Okay. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.